Betsy's birthday is rocked by a shocking crash. It's Betsy's 18th birthday, and she's been out until the early hours. Returning home for her celebration, glasses are filled and Betsy lifts one in a toast to Becky's picture on the sideboard. When Betsy declares she's heading into town with her friends, Lisa questions her about her lifestyle. Reminding her she's no longer a child, Betsy confesses she spent the night with Dylan. At the shopping center, Betsy leaves Dylan a voicemail and another for Lisa, but before she finishes speaking, a sudden bang echoes as a stolen vehicle crashes. Betsy shrieks in shock. Meanwhile, Kevin and Abby arrive back from their trip. Kevin's irritated to discover Carl working in the garage and insists he wants him gone by the close of business. Desperate for cash to repay Tracy, Carl informs Brody and Dylan he's lined up a job for them. As Brody and Dylan zoom past George in a stolen vehicle, George catches sight of the driver and is stunned to recognize Dylan. Elsewhere, Lily complains to David of stomach pains, but he doubts her and sends her off to school. Later, when he grumbles to Sarah about Lily bickering over a boy and trying to skip lessons, Sarah begins to worry. David fumes when he notices Carla dumping rubbish into his bin, but his curiosity spikes when he spots a pregnancy test inside. Convinced it belongs to Betsy, he shows Sarah only for her to suggest it might be Lily's, leaving David horrified. Also today, Kit discloses that the car has been found, but someone set it alight in an attempt to erase the evidence. Coronation Street spoilers. David Platt uncovers a pregnancy test, but whose is it? Lily complains to David about having stomach pains, but he dismisses her excuses and insists she goes to school. Later, Sarah grows worried when David vents that Lily has been clashing with a boy and tried to dodge lessons. David is fuming when he spots Carla tipping her rubbish into his bin, but his annoyance quickly turns to curiosity when he discovers a pregnancy test inside. Believing it belongs to Betsy, he shows Sarah, but when she suggests it could actually be Lily's, David's excitement turns to dread. Meanwhile, Betsy celebrates turning 18 after being out all night. Returning home for her party, she raises a glass to Becky's photograph before heading out again with her friends. When Lisa questions her about her love life and reminds her she's not a child anymore, Betsy shocks her by admitting she slept with Dylan the night before. At the precinct, Betsy records voicemails for both Dylan and Lisa, but before finishing her message, chaos erupts as a stolen vehicle crashes nearby, prompting her to scream. Elsewhere, Kevin and Abby return from their break, and Kevin is furious to find Carl working in the garage. He demands Carl be gone by day's end. Still short of the money he owes Tracy, Carl ropes in Dylan and Brody for another scheme. As the duo speed past George in a stolen motor, George is stunned when he recognizes Dylan behind the wheel. Later, Kit informs everyone that the car has been recovered, but it's been set on fire in an attempt to wipe away the evidence. Coronation Street spoilers. Crash chaos, Lisa unravels, and a shock pregnancy twist. Upcoming Coronation Street scenes promise turmoil for Lisa Swain, fears for Betsy's life, and a major baby bombshell for the Platt family. Next week brings a schedule shakeup too, with no episode on Wednesday. Instead, fans will only see 2 installments, airing Monday and Friday, but both are packed with explosive twists, including a terrifying smash and criminal activity. Carl Webster once again ropes teenagers Dylan and Brody into his shady schemes, but things spiral when a stolen vehicle causes devastation. Strapped for cash to hand over to Tracy Barlow, who is holding his secret fling with Abby Franklin over him, Carl sets the lads up with a risky job. As Dylan and Brody tear through the streets in the stolen motor, they're spotted by George Shuttleworth. But disaster looms when tragedy strikes. Someone is mown down and ends up in hospital fighting for their life. Speculation hints the victim may be Betsy Swain, who finds herself in danger as a car barrels towards her. In the aftermath, Detective Kit Green reveals the stolen vehicle has been discovered, but it's been set alight in a desperate attempt to hide the evidence. Will Kit uncover that his own son Brody was part of the crime? George later confronts Dylan, insisting he saw him behind the wheel, leaving the youngster terrified as he denies it. Meanwhile, Abby returns from her break with Kevin Webster, unaware of Carl's betrayal with Tracy hanging over him, and shocked to catch Dylan contacting Carl. Soon, Carl admits to Abby that he's been using Dylan and Brody to steal cars for him. But what will Abby do with the truth? Coronation Street spoilers. Betsy's birthday turns dark, Lisa spirals, and a pregnancy shocker hits the Platts. Betsy Swain's milestone birthday could end in disaster next week, as her night out collides with the soap's horror crash storyline. After partying into the early hours, she clashes with Mum Lisa while marking her 18th at home. The family gather to celebrate, with Betsy raising a glass to her late mum Becky in a heartfelt tribute. But the mood shifts when Betsy declares she's heading into town with friends to continue the fun. Lisa frustrates her by probing into her personal life, sparking an argument between the two. Determined to show she's grown up, Betsy bluntly tells her mum she isn't a child anymore, before dropping the bombshell that she slept with Dylan the night before. Moments later, she storms out. As she leaves, Betsy records a voice note for Dylan, though her exact words remain a mystery. She also leaves a message for Lisa, but mid-sentence, chaos erupts. A car barrels towards her and she screams in terror before a loud smash is heard. But is Betsy the one struck and left fighting for life in hospital? The following day, Lisa spirals as she struggles to process the shocking events of the night before. Viewers are left wondering if this is the emotional moment teased in the recent trailer, and whether tragedy has struck Betsy or if another twist is waiting to unfold. Meanwhile, over at the Platts, a shocking new storyline begins to unfold as the family are thrown into chaos by a pregnancy bombshell. Lily tries her best to get out of going to school by complaining of feeling unwell, but David isn't buying her excuses and insists she goes in. Later on, he opens up to his sister Sarah, grumbling that Lily has been acting up recently, distracted by a boy and trying to skip lessons. Sarah quickly becomes uneasy, realizing something more might be going on with the youngster. Things soon take an even more dramatic turn when David makes a startling discovery while taking out the bins. After spotting rubbish that he believes Carla Connor has dumped into his bin, he rifles through it and is stunned to find a used pregnancy test. Shocked, David immediately jumps to the conclusion that it must belong to Betsy, who has already caused her fair share of drama on the street. But when he shows the test to Sarah, she raises an alarming possibility that David hadn't considered. What if it isn't Betsy's at all, but Lily's? The suggestion horrifies David, who can hardly believe what he is hearing. The pair are left reeling as they question who in their family could be keeping such a huge secret. As the week draws to a close, the mystery deepens, with tension running high in the Platt household. Finally, the truth is set to be revealed as the real owner of the test steps forward. But whose positive result is it, and how will the revelation change everything for the family? Coronation Street airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1.